In this video, I'm going to try and predict the 2025 Elimination Chamber match card. Now, the last thing I have seen is the Royal Rumble. I've not seen any episodes of Raw or Smackdown, so if something happens on Raw, it could completely change everything. I've got 7 matches basically written down, but I'm going to give you obviously my opinion on all 7 of them and why they could happen, but I do think there's only going to be 5 matches. So what I'll do is I'll start off with the Women's Elimination Chamber. And I believe the participants are going to be Nia Jax, because obviously she eliminated about 9 people at the Royal Rumble. And obviously like the dominance she's had, obviously being a former women's champion, former Queen of the Ring, I just don't see why they wouldn't put her in there. And then I'd say they're going to have Bayley as well, another former women's champion. I also think you're going to have Io Sky in there. Basically, all these women are like former world champions in some way. I mean, I might be wrong on something, but Io Sky is going to be in there. Somebody who I thought was going to win the Royal Rumble. So that's 3 women out of the 6. I do think you're also going to have a returning Alexa Bliss in there with the Fiend-style character that she brought back with the doll Lily. Also, as well, I believe you're going to have Roxanne Perez be called up and be put into that match after the fantastic performance she put in at the Royal Rumble, becoming holding the record for the longest time in a women's Royal Rumble. Oh, singly, obviously, like a single Royal Rumble, like an hour and 7 or an hour and 9 minutes, something along those lines. It came in 3rd and was the runner-up. A fantastic performance. And the last person, I think, unless they put her in the mid-card scene, like say Chelsea Green or something along those lines, I reckon you're going to have Jordynne Grace in this. So I reckon it's going to be Nia Jax, Roxanne Perez, Jordynne Grace, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, and Io Sky. Now, see, that's what I reckon. But if they don't put either Roxanne Perez in there or Jordynne Grace, I believe they're going to put in Liv Morgan. So, but I'm going to stick to what I originally said. So obviously, if Liv Morgan's in there, I'm technically wrong, but I'm just saying that's what they could do. Another match I think they could do would be Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman, after they just threw away the storyline at Saturday night's main event. Seeing them to actually an actual match without it being called off, I don't see why they can't do it here on this card. Braun Strowman returned after like a week at the Royal Rumble, eliminated Jacob Fatu. It's like, okay, why can't them two have a match? Another Elimination Chamber match they could potentially have, which is not my idea, I heard off another video. Okay, I didn't obviously announce the participants, but it's pretty common sense. Would be a tag team Elimination Chamber match. That would be between DIY the Champions, the Motor City Machine Guns, the Street Profits, Pretty Deadly, Legado del Fantasma, I probably just butchered that name, and then it'll be the Bloodline, I guess you want to call it, but it'll be Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, obviously if his biceps are right. I get them too confused, I do. I think it's Tonga Loa that's out with the injury. That's a potential one, which could be a fantastic one if they do it. But I don't see them doing 3 like Elimination Chamber matches with only like 2 normal. I mean, they might do, and they might not have a women's one, but they're definitely obviously going to have a men's one. So, I mean, I'm not going to say much about that one, but that's pretty much all the participants in there. And obviously with everyone being involved in the storylines, obviously Motor City Machine Guns and DIY had the feud, obviously since it started near enough. And the match at the Royal Rumble where the Street Profits got involved, DIY was trying to obviously get Pretty Deadly involved, Pretty Deadly was blaming Legado del Fantasma, and obviously then you had Tama Tonga looking at the titles the other day. So it's all interlinked, so it's a perfect way to do it. But they're more than likely going to do some like multiple man match at WrestleMania. Another match I believe we could have, I don't think it would be for the World Heavyweight title, but would be Gunther versus Jimmy Uso. Basically, that happening from Gunther telling Jimmy, like, Jay's not any good, and obviously Jimmy sticking up for his brother, and then Gunther saying, obviously, you're no good either. I mean, you're even lower than Jay is, so I didn't think that was possible. You know how Gunther can, like, really like belittle people and make them feel smaller. And then obviously it gives Jimmy like a chance at the main event scene as well, not just Jay. And obviously Jay winning the Royal Rumble, obviously this is where the storyline can build from. Probably wouldn't want to see that match, because it's literally going to be just another Gunther versus Jay sort of match anyway. You know, with the super kicks, splashes and dives. But it's possible. Now, another potential match I could see, well, two of them depending obviously how things go. If Sami does go heel, you had Jay accidentally eliminating Sami. Will this be the point where he flips the switch and, like you mean, says, obviously, you cost me my shot at WrestleMania, all this other good stuff. Can we see Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber? I do think it's a possibility. But if they don't do that one, I do believe what you could see, obviously, if the Gunther and Jimmy Uso match doesn't happen, I do think you could see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn teaming together, because it is Toronto, Canada, you know, in their hometown, well, near the hometown, home country, I should say, against the Usos, like a rematch from WrestleMania 39, I believe. Yeah. Out of them matches, what would I rather see? I think I would rather see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos, rather than Sami versus Jay, and then Jimmy versus Gunther. But the only good thing about that, though, is you get to see more of Jay inside of like a singles match, if that makes sense. So that's all the matches I've basically got written down so far, besides the last one, which is the men's Elimination Chamber. When I was writing this down as well, I had 5 guaranteed names. Everyone already knew that John Cena was going to be in the match. Okay, so who else would we have in there? CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. But now they're basically throwing us a curveball. So who could the last spot go to? I originally said Jacob Fatu, which is a possibility still. Sami Zayn, possibility. Jimmy Uso, another possibility. But what I went with, though, was Kevin Owens. I do believe, if obviously that tag team match doesn't happen, it's going to be Kevin Owens. So if I had to predict the 5 matches that I think are going to be on the card, I'm going to have to go with Sami and Jay, Gunther and Jimmy, the women's Elimination Chamber, obviously without Liv Morgan. So that's 3 matches. I believe I might have made a mistake here, but it's okay. The Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman street fight, that wouldn't surprise me. And then the last one, I do think it's going to be John Cena, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. Obviously, the extra ones, which obviously I mentioned earlier, could still potentially happen, but if I had to call the match card, I'm saying them 5. Anyway, why don't you let me know what you think the matches are going to be, or why there could be the matches, and tell me how wrong I am. Anyway, please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.